Hello guys, Eckhart's Ladder, bringing you a quick Star Wars lore video today. So, you guys know that I love Star Wars Legends, and that I really love the old weird parts of the expanded universe. I've been trying to research the 5 largest droids in the Star Wars universe, and this is exceptionally difficult because there's thousands and thousands of droids mentioned in the expanded universe. I mean, I've gone through my copy of the New Essential Guide to Droids, and the Old Essential Guide, and plenty of other books, and it's been really difficult. And while I'm not ready to narrow it down to a top 5, and I think I probably won't ever be able to do so, I think that I have found the largest droid to ever exist in the Star Wars universe. And it's a weird one. It comes from the far reaches of Star Wars Legends. But just briefly before I get there, if you want to learn more about Star Wars Legends, more about droids in the Star Wars universe, I'm going to put a link down in the description to where you can buy the New Essential Guide to Droids from Amazon. Alright, so let's get right into it, and as I said, we're going into the deep reaches of the Star Wars expanded universe. Now, we could learn about these droids in a bunch of different ways, because they've appeared independently in a bunch of different stories and have kind of been retconned to be the same thing. But I think I'll start first with a series that is very near and dear to my heart, the Lando Calrissian Adventures. So these books came out in the early 80s and they're really campy and a ton of fun. I'm just going to tell you guys the names of the individual books because they kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. We've got Lando Calrissian in the Mindharp of Sharu, Lando Calrissian in the Flamewinds of Oseon, and Lando Calrissian in the Starcave of ThonBaka. So, as I said, these books are really campy. They're very kind of fantastical. Lando's running into these highly advanced civilizations and doing these really insane things. But I mean, they're all good Star Wars fun, so I recommend you check them out, especially if you like the weird Star Wars legend stories. Anyway, throughout these books, Lando is accompanied by a very peculiar droid named Vuffi Ra. Vuffi's a very nice droid. He's not violent whatsoever. He kind of just helps Lando out however he needs it. And really, him and Lando would consider each other friends. And I mentioned that this droid is peculiar, and a lot of that comes down to his appearance. He's shaped kind of like a starfish with little tentacles, but he on occasion changes his appearance. Anyway, it's revealed that Vuffi is not actually from the Star Wars galaxy, or if he is, that he's from the very far unknown regions, and it's kind of suggested that perhaps he was sent in to explore the rest of the galaxy, maybe for an invasion, maybe for something else, who knows. But as it stands, he's not like anything else in the entire galaxy. Now let's skip ahead a little bit to after the Yuuzhan Vong invasion and those series of books. So we learn a little bit about the Yuuzhan Vong and why they chose to leave their galaxy and invade the Star Wars galaxy. And as it turns out, there was a gigantic war between 2 warring droid factions in their galaxy, one being the Silentium and the other the super goofy looking Abominor. So the droids fought amongst each other, killing each other and most of the organics within their galaxy, until of course the Yuuzhan Vong stood up, said enough of that garbage, kicked them out of the galaxy, murdered mostly everything else, basically causing a huge mess for everyone. So it's the Silentium we're talking about for this video, and they're really interesting because they vary in size greatly. Obviously Vuffi is only a few meters long. However, advanced members of the Silentium race actually created these huge bodies for themselves, measuring over 50 kilometers in length. One of these Silentium was named The One, and he was the father of Vuffi Ra. The final book in the Lando Calrissian trilogy features a gigantic space battle at ThonBaka. At this battle, we see the civilization of Oswaft and Lando Calrissian taking on over 600 Imperial ships, including Star Destroyers. However, when things start going badly for Lando, thousands of these gigantic 50-kilometer wide ships jump in, and they're, of course, the Silentium, and they're coming for Vuffi Ra. They're basically saying, hey, you've been out on the galaxy long enough, time to come back for us. And these beings and these droids are so powerful that the Imperials have no choice but to lay down their weapons and stop the battle. So these things are massive, they're powerful, and there's a whole lot of them. And who knows, perhaps there's even Silentium that are larger than 50 kilometers. But even if there's not, they seem to be the largest droid in the Star Wars universe, and I do have a few more interesting facts about them for anyone who's interested. The Silentium seem to go through these growth stages where they start off as kind of that starfish, and then they move up into a ball, and the starfish seems to be based on their creators, who were eventually wiped out by some sort of calamity or cataclysm. But by the time their makers had died, it seems like the Silentium had already gained sentience, so they started a society on their own. As I mentioned, the old Lando books had them living in the unknown regions, or perhaps just past the edge of the galaxy, while later Legends canon kind of retconned it so they were one of the species that fought in the Yuuzhan Vong galaxy. And it's been suggested that the Yuuzhan Vong have such disdain for machines because of the battles and the wars between the Silentium and the other droid species. Anyways guys, let me know what you think of these huge droid creations. Do you like it? Do you like these crazy Star Wars legend stories? Do you want to learn more about Lando Calrissian? And of course, whether you like this new kind of approach to Star Wars lore that I took in this video. I think I might call it like Star Wars story time or something of that nature. Anyways guys, regardless, thank you so much for watching, and hey, as always, may the Force be with you.